So I figured out the real reason why Andrew Wilson debated Candace Owens, and I need you all to hear me out. He made a lot of mistakes. He was clearly very nervous, which I think caught a lot of people off guard, including those that were rooting for Andrew Wilson. If you're just being objective, he was clearly very nervous. He had no reason to be nervous if he was standing on the side of truth. But there's a lot of mistakes that he made. There were small things that he did throughout this debate that were a part of the agenda, like going out of his way to defend Erica, which was very weird for Andrew Wilson, of all people, to be doing that for obvious reasons that I'm not going to get into here. But there's one thing that he shared in this debate, if you want to call it a debate. This public humiliation ritual is what it was. But there's one thing that he did that overlapped everything else, and that told me, and I've had time to rewatch the conversation. I said, that was the purpose of him doing this. I am 100% convinced that TPUSA paid Andrew Wilson to go debate, debunk, whatever Candace Owens. Now, a lot of you all already believe that, but it's not because they have already paid him to teach them how to debate. That's not the reason. I'm convinced for other reasons outside of the Erica point. In his opening statement, number one, shout out to Baron Coleman because he pointed this out first. He stated that, Andrew Wilson stated that he is 75 to 85% confident that Tyler Robinson is the one that did it. Well, mic drop, that's the end of the debate because that leaves room for reasonable doubt. You need to be 100% convinced, but there's that. But there's one thing that he shared, and I said, Andrew Wilson was not only sent by TPUSA, and I'm very confident in that now. Andrew Wilson didn't write his opening statement. I don't have any problem or any issue with Andrew Wilson reading from his phone for his opening statement. I think it's more professional. It's the same as reading from a sheet of paper in a court of law if you are the prosecution or the defense. I have no problem with that. And I also don't have a problem with it because he's done that in many of his other debates. I don't have an issue with it. I would only have an issue if he read from his phone throughout the actual substance and the meat of the debate when they're going back and forth. That would be weird. But for opening statements, I think that's super professional. I don't have an issue with it if you choose to use your phone or do not use your phone. But if you listen to Andrew Wilson's, and I'll talk about this later. I'm on vacation right now. I'll talk about this later when I'm back in the studio. If you listen to Andrew Wilson and you listen to what he said, it's very clear. First and foremost, it sounded like, just go back and listen to his opening statement. It sounded like this was his very first time reading it. And it also sounded like whoever wrote it, many of you all are going to believe that Andrew Wilson wrote it. All right, fine. That means that what I'm about to say applies to Andrew Wilson, but we all know that it don't apply to Andrew Wilson compared to TPUSA and Erica Kirk. What do I mean? Or TPUSA's overlords or TPUSA funders, whatever you want to say, the people that's backing them. It sounded like, number one, he was reading it for the first time. But whoever wrote that opening statement for Andrew Wilson had other issues with Candace Owens outside of just disagreeing with her theories. They had an agenda to protect. Go back and watch it. Go back and watch that debate and listen to Andrew Wilson's opening statement. Something's off. That's not normal. What he's doing is not normal. So that's number one. But the statement that he made, which I believe was the number one thing that led me to believe this is a psyop. And what I mean by psyop is that, they sent the big bad wolf who's known for defeating people in debates. They've outsourced this person. They've commissioned this person to go and take down Candace Owens by getting in front of her audience, coming to her studio, and doing what exactly? Because they knew she would want to be in her studio and to catch her audience. Let's get in front of that audience because otherwise they won't watch us. They're not going to watch the Charlie Kirk show. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to send a shield. He's going to get in front of that audience. We've infiltrated this space and we're going to share what? This text message about Charlie Kirk texting other people at TPUSA, which, by the way, Erica Kirk has already shared that before. We're going to share for the very first time unreleased information, groundbreaking, first time ever seen information about Charlie Kirk texting TPUSA and its affiliates that he was afraid that the left was going to unalive him. Well, isn't that timing convenient? But furthermore, not only is the timing super convenient, that he would send that just the day before. Go back and listen to the way Andrew Wilson said it. He said it like it was the biggest bombshell information ever. Only to then later in the debate say, "Oh, but I'm not going to show it to you." I don't think he has it. He goes, "Oh, I'm going to," Candace goes, "Well, if you don't mind me asking, why won't you share it? This is great timing." He goes, "We got to drip it along. Keep them coming." "Oh, this is about views for you? This is about money for you?" Once again, you're proving that it's about money for you, Andrew. It's about attention and clicks. Okay, fine. When you were accusing Candace of that, fine, whatever. Get your money. Here's the bigger issue. That wasn't a mic drop. Not only because Erica has shared it before, but it's also not a mic drop. Why? Because if you are revealing for the first time information that Candace has not seen or heard about, that the public has not seen or heard about for the most part.
Somebody in here.
Yeah, I'm in here. Sorry, I was interrupted. But the point I think where I left off at is, it's not a flex or it's not a bombshell to reveal new information and say, "Hey, Candace and the rest of your cult or your following," pretending that we only think what we think because Candace thinks it. That's crazy. How dare you believe that Tyler Robinson didn't do this when here's some new information you've never seen before? You should have known that this information existed, and this is part of the reason that you should have known that Tyler Robinson is guilty and the left did do this, and it wasn't any other conspiracy, and it was only the left because of this new information you never knew about. That's not a flex. Andrew Wilson was paid by TPUSA. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more on live tomorrow. By the way, look forward. I'm attempting to get in contact with them now and talk some details with them. I'm going to interview a guy who says that he previously had Andrew Wilson's perspective. He was defending Andrew Wilson and his perspective and his viewpoints, his worldview prior to this debate. It's officially changed, but this isn't just any guy. This is a guy with history in military, which is a big deal, but this is also a guy with history of working specifically in the military in the PSYOP department. And he reveals part of the reason he changed his mind, but it was specifically things that Andrew Wilson was saying where he was like, "Oh, wait, hold up. I know what they're doing here." So I'm not gonna spill too much. I'm not gonna give too much away. Stay tuned.